and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
Me?
You are Betsy.
Amazing!
We have reached the end of our four-part series of rated R movies that have sequels. Or wait, these are the sequels to the movies that were already rated R. Anyway, today we are going to round out the last of a trilogy. First time we've done that in this series, but we're also following up on an episode we've already done. Betsy, we are watching John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. Betsy, why did they put Parabellum at the end of this?
I don't know. It's like Fast and the Furious, where their naming conventions are not going to match forever, because the fourth one is just called John Wick Chapter 4.
Just like John Wick Chapter 2. Yeah, there's no extra subtitle there. I don't like it. Maybe we'll find out in the movie, but I have a feeling they just wanted to be special.
I guess. Maybe they didn't think they'd make any more, which is stupid, because you made 3.
You made 3. They are highly successful.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so, Betsy, this time we did not rewatch Chapter 2, the previous one.
No, we watched it for the podcast, and then a while back we were at a hotel, just flipping through channels as one does, and we happened to catch it right as it was starting and ended up watching the whole movie.
Right, and I think the first time we watched it was about a year ago. That instance at the hotel was maybe a few months after that.
Yeah, so I feel pretty good about this one and my memory of it.
So that being said, since you have the better memory of the two of us, why don't you enlighten our listeners who maybe don't want to rewatch it themselves?
Sure.
And me.
Sure. So the first one, obviously, he went out and got revenge on these bad men.
Yes.
This movie, the second one, picked up right after.
Yeah.
The events of the first one. So the opening scene is he goes to get his car, because that was the unresolved piece from the first one. His car was still taken.
Oh, it's a sweet car.
So it starts, shoot 'em up bullshit.
Yep.
And then because he tries to put away his life and he moves on, but then there's a knock on the door and it's another guy saying, oh, well, you're back in, so now I need your services and you owe me because I helped you get out. So God damn it, if you're back in, you're gonna pay me back.
And there's this token that if you are in this business, you are owed a debt.
It's a blood oath.
You are owed a debt if you are still in this business, and if that other person that you owe it to requires your services of any kind,
you have
usually
to do it.
Murder.
Yeah, you have to do
it.
it.
Not just moving a couch.
No negotiation.
Yes. And if you refuse, then this organization will take you out.
They will kill you.
That is one of the 2 rules that this organization,
this whole world of underworlds.
And the other rule we are introduced to later, there's this hotel called the Continental.
We were introduced to this concept in the first one. So in the Continental, the whole thing is you cannot do business on Continental property.
Business being killing motherfuckers.
Well, any business, but that's the big one.
Right.
So, yeah, they drag him back in. He has to go and assassinate somebody, but instead of letting her be taken out, she takes it upon herself to kill herself.
Right. It's also his sister.
Yes, this bad man's sister.
Right. The big overarching thing of 2 is the high table.
Yep, the crime high table, whatever that is.
We don't get a lot of information. We kind of talked about that in that episode where we don't really get introduced to what the high table is, but you can assume, you can infer that it is like the grand poobahs of this organization, and they get to dictate rules and territory and all this stuff.
It's like the mafia, but it's more complicated than that.
Yeah, it is a crime thing.
It's more like the Illuminati. It's like a secret society kind of a thing.
It is. And the sister who John Wick is tasked to assassinate is going to be coronated into the high table. And her brother didn't want that.
Yeah, so he wants the seat.
He wanted it for himself.
But of course, he goes through with it. She's dead. And then under the guise of revenge, the brother then takes out a hit on John Wick. And then again, it's more just killing everybody who comes after him.
Yeah.
There's some great action sequences where everybody's a fucking assassin.
Common is in there. There's also that thing about the pencil.
Oh, there's like a joke about killing a guy with a pencil. Yeah, and then he does it.
And then he does it in the movie.
That was the first one. I was trying to remember what you meant by that, but yeah, they make a joke in the first one about how he could kill a guy with a pencil. We're also introduced more just kind of to the concept of the world, where like he goes to a guy in Rome who is the sommelier, they call him, but he's the guy who can get him all the guns. He can get fancy suits from a specific person. Yeah. They have this currency that is only good in this organization. There's
coins.
There's also another group, and it's Lawrence Fishburne.
Larry Fish.
So we don't know a whole lot about them yet, but he's the Bowery King, and he's like a weird pigeon man.
Yeah.
So there's all these like different groups of assassins. Like he's got his own network, and then John is a part of his other network. So we're gonna maybe find out more about that.
I think we're gonna find out eventually that the old lady with the pigeons in the park from Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, is actually a part of that organization.
I think they made that joke. And
I've probably seen that joke somewhere.
I love it. It's so stupid. Yeah, so this is just kind of chaos. It's an action movie. We find out more about everything that's going on. But the bottom line is, the climactic scene is that shithead who hired him and then stabbed him in the back gets to the Continental, where John can do nothing about it.
And he says, I'm just going to hang out here.
I will stay here forever.
I can get good food here. You guys are going to wait on me hand and foot, and no harm can come to me.
And you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So he shoots him in the head, which is number one. Rule number one of the Continental, you cannot do that. So at the end of the movie, Winston, the guy who is the manager of the Continental in New York, says, you are excommunicado.
Yeah, Ian McShane.
You are, in 1 hour, I have deemed it so. You're only alive because I say you get to be alive.
As a courtesy, I'm going to give you a 1 hour head start, and you can get the fuck out of Dodge. But then John Wick is basically telling him, okay, that's all well and good, but anybody who comes after me, just look at what I just did to all these other people for like, what, $7 million? They doubled the bounty to like $14 million. It's like, it doesn't matter. Come after me all you want. But he's still going to go to the Bowery King and get his assistance, because I guess maybe he's going to join their ranks?
We assume so. So the last time we see him, he is running through the park with his dog, and phones are going off all around him, because apparently everyone in New York City is an assassin.
Well, and for those people, maybe they are just tangentially related to that, but I get your point.
Yeah, so that's the end. That's the long and short version of the second movie where we left him.
Yes. So, in part 3, chapter 3, what do we know about that one?
I know Halle Berry is in it.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I did not know this.
Halle Berry is in this third one.
I always was under the impression that Larry Fishburne was going to be the big reveal, and I didn't know he was in 2.
I didn't know he was in 2.
Before I saw it.
But I know Halle Berry is in 3.
I had no idea she was in this.
I don't know if there's anybody else who shows up. She's on one of the posters. That's why I knew this information.
Okay, fine.
I think Larry Fishburne comes back. I would assume so, because the way they set him up in the second one.
Yeah, he's totally in this one as a much bigger character.
But the actual plot, one just assumes, is everybody on the planet is after John Wick.
He's on the defense. And like, how you get out of this is the big question here, because clearly there's a chapter 4.
Yeah, he kills everybody until they all get tired of it. That is what I expect this movie to be. Yeah. Carnage, and then we give up!
Right. Or like, I don't know, like how does he escape something like this? Who does he cut a deal with? Does somebody like pay off the bounty? Is that even a thing?
I don't know.
We'll
find out.
All right, Betsy, let's go and watch John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. We'll be right back. And we are back. Betsy, what'd you think of Parabellum?
Parabellum? So this is a fucking roller coaster. Like, it starts at about an 11 and then just keeps cranking it up. And there's very few lulls. This is like 90% action. And it's amazing. The reason these movies are so successful, especially by this point, is they don't overcomplicate it. They're like, we're not going to bog you down with a lot of boring story and plot. The plot is everything you learned in the first 2. We've been about 10 days in the life of John Wick through 3 movies.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's it. You know, it's been a very short amount of time since the very beginning. And so you don't need a recap. It's just like, you already know what happened.
You know the players, you know why he is, in dire straits.
And so we start the movie with the clock ticking.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking tense. Like, I just immensely enjoyed myself this one because I know shit is fucked and they make no expectation otherwise.
The tension is constantly there. Because you know that there are people around every corner looking for this guy.
Around the globe.
And you know that things could just pop off at a moment's notice. And yeah, the one thought I had throughout the entire runtime, and this is about all 3 movies, it's like the writers and the director thought to themselves, hey, you remember The Matrix and how cool it was? How about we get rid of all of the existential bullshit in the Matrix trilogy and make nothing but the cool bits?
We don't need the plot and the love story and the overall theme. We just want the cool shit.
Let's think of the most cool shit that we can get these characters to do and have them do it the entire way.
This is a stunt coordinator's dream assignment because I'm sure the script was something like, okay, he's in this building and it's full of antique weapons.
Yeah.
That's the direction.
Go play.
So now you as the stunt coordinator just get to go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it's scene after scene after scene of that. It's like, okay, we've got a motorcycle chase. We've got a stable. We've got a horse chase. We've got knives and old antique guns.
They build these settings just for these fights.
And just to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Most of those sets didn't make it through.
Yeah.
And the way that people die in this movie, the way he kills people.
It's so creative.
It's just upping the creativity. There is a lot of people resisting him. They're holding the weapon and he is punching it into them.
Yeah.
And stabbing it into eyeballs and throwing axes. In the stable, he smacks a horse and a guy gets kicked to death.
We'll get to all that stuff.
More than once. And it just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier.
It's all of these set pieces that are just woven in together. And I understand in the beginning part of the movie, he is on the run. He is like being chased by all these different groups who are all after him at the same time. Because, hey, $14 million, you're going to risk your life going up against John Wick, maybe?
I loved how they opened with Winston and the concierge is asking, how do you do you really think he'll make it? And he says, well, it's a $14 million contract. Everybody in the area wants a piece. Mm-hmm. I say the odds are about even.
Yeah, about even odds on this one.
From John Wick versus everyone.
Yeah. And I think them bringing back everybody and just the only people they introduce. What, the adjudicator? Is that it?
So we got Sophia, the adjudicator, the elder.
Yeah.
And the director, the Angelica Houston character.
And the other guy who was the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah, so the guy who shot the dog.
They did a lot more of the world building here. And I love that every one of these movies, we just expand this worldview just a little bit more.
And there's still a mystery. We still don't know everybody or where they operate or how they operate. We're just getting a little bit extra.
Yeah, so we got the guy who runs the forge where they make the coins and the marks. Yeah. That's what he does. And it's like, oh, this is where they make the coins.
Yeah.
And they have their own currency. This is cool.
Yeah.
So he runs that. You get yet another Continental in another part of the world, the Casablanca Continental. You get the ballet. You get a little bit of a background on John himself. So we find out that he's from Belarus.
He is an orphan from Belarus, and he was taken in by this organization and presumably trained in this art of assassination by this group, who apparently has relocated to New York City from Belarus or wherever they're from. And we get to see a little bit behind the curtain as like all these ballerinas are coming out, and we have these guys doing wrestling in
really intense, like body slam kind of wrestling.
Right. And like think about the movie like Red Sparrow, and think about Black Widow, where they train these assassin women, and what do? You have to train them in the art of being a dancer and being able to move your body in ways that men can't, frankly. Mm-hmm. So you teach them in a different way than the men.
That is a consistent thing when we're talking about assassins from Russia, is the ballerina thing. And this actually makes a lot more sense now that we've watched this, because there's going to be a John Wick television show, and it is a prequel, and I'm pretty sure it's called The Ballerina.
Oh, yeah.
And I had forgotten about that, but now this makes a lot more sense. So my assumption is it's the Angelica Houston character, who, by the way, I did not know was in this movie.
Nope, no idea.
I haven't seen her in a movie in years.
Yeah?
Yeah. She was
right.
She was in the last Wes Anderson movie, but we haven't watched that yet.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took me a second because she's doing this like Belarusian accent, and I'm just like, who is that? Is that Angelica Houston?
It wasn't until she started talking that I was for sure that was
absolutely.
Who it was. Yeah.
But she looks cool, and she looked a lot like she did in. She made a movie in the early '90s called The Witches, where she plays I can't remember, the Grand High Witch, I think is what she's called.
Okay.
And she's just really decked out with this blunt haircut and like long gloves and lots of jewelry. That's what I was thinking of.
It works well.
It's just like the way she was made up was really excessive, but in like a perfect way in this.
And yeah, along with her character, we said that we get a little bit of the background of John Wick himself. And at the beginning of the movie, he's running around, he's trying to escape. He's still within his first hour where he's got free reign. He can do whatever he needs to do.
It's until 6 o'clock. He has until 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And he's just running around trying to figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah, so he's in Times Square, and he has his dog with him. He gets into a cab, and he says, go to the New York Public Library. And he gets stuck in a traffic jam, and it's not going to work. So he gives the cabbie a coin, which apparently, again, is like 60% of all people in New York City an assassin.
Yes.
In some capacity.
Everybody is in the network somehow.
Yeah.
That's the major ruse about New York City, is that everyone there is an assassin.
All right, we'll remember that the next time we go.
Or affiliated with assassins.
Fair enough. But anyway, he gives the coin to the cabbie saying, hey, take this dog to the Continental and give it to the concierge.
Change of plans.
Because the dog and the concierge are tight.
Yep, he took care of him in the last movie. The last time he had to go wreck shop.
Indeed. So he gets out of the cab and runs all the way to the library, and he goes up to the librarian and says, I need this Russian book. And he goes upstairs, gets the book, and inside is a hidden compartment where he has a photo of his wife, one of those tokens, those blood oath. The mark, yeah. The blood oath token. And this like rosary with the crucifix on it. Mm-hmm. That seems very important. Of course, we don't know at the time what that is.
A couple of gold coins.
And some coins, exactly.
Yeah.
He's got a stash of his monies. There must be a count somewhere of how many gold coins he has.
He had a lot in the first one, but I suspect he's got them stashed all over the city.
That's what I would like to know. So anyway, he gets his stuff, and then he's confronted by this extremely tall man.
I wrote down big fucker in the library.
Big Russian guy.
Yeah, he's got a few minutes. It's like 10 minutes or 3 minutes or
whatever.
Something. It's very soon before the time runs out, and he is excommunicated.
He says to the guy, so I still have minutes left. And the guy responds to him and says, nobody's going to know if I kill you.
Who's going to know the difference?
Who's going to know the difference? So yeah, he attacks John, and we have the book fight.
But yeah, this dude is like 8 feet tall.
He's really tall.
His arms are like so big that sometimes when they were wrestling, they were just so comedically large around Keanu that he looked tiny. Like, Keanu's a big guy. Keanu's over 6 feet tall.
Yes, he is.
And for him to look like a tiny dude, this man is massive.
And that's not a forced perspective. That guy is just that tall.
He's just huge. But yeah, there's a lot of shoving the book in his mouth and like making him eat it and breaking his jaw and
breaking his neck.
And breaking his neck.
Oh my God.
And then he just puts the book back.
Yeah, he puts his head over the book and slams his head, and then it goes all limpy-dimpy.
Yeah, but not before getting stabbed. He gets stabbed in the shoulder, so he's got to go to a doctor. And he says, no, I can't help you. And he's still got 5 minutes. Right. 5 minutes.
Come on, you got to help me out at least a little bit.
So he decides he's going to help him and start stitching him up. But he literally stops the second the clock tolls. Yeah. At 6 o'clock, he quits, and John has to finish it for himself.
There are rules. You got to follow the rules.
Yep. Now, we didn't notice this at the time. You kind of noticed it, and I certainly didn't.
I knew I recognized this guy from something. His voice really was more recognizable, but no, it's the Keymaker from the second Matrix movie.
Which is why I wouldn't recognize him, because I've seen it all twice.
You've only seen that movie a couple of times. I've seen it a lot more.
Which, again, we're getting back into the let's keep throwing more Matrix things at this franchise.
We said it in chapter 2. One of the main guys that he's fighting is one of the Smiths, or one of the agents, I should say.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep, and of course, Lawrence Fishburne shows up in the second one, and he shows up in this one.
Of course.
But even he, like, they show the word getting out that he's excommunicated, and he gets the message, and he says, we down here in the Bowery are going to follow that, and we're not going to help him. Yep. So that rules out the possibility he's going to go there to help.
They know that the high table will come down upon them with furious anger if they get caught helping him while he is excommunicated.
But it's a great move for us, the viewers, because we assumed, okay, he's going to go there.
Right.
But immediately they kill your expectation and say, well, no, he can't go there now.
Right.
Like, in New York, he is fucked.
Right, and I was wrong. I was expecting that just based on the trailer. Like, I think I remember a trailer from way back when where they were showing Larry Fish in this movie and doing a lot more. I was expecting him to have a much bigger role. Maybe we're going to have to wait till chapter 4.
Well, and it's possible that they had footage that got cut. That happens sometimes.
That's very possible.
Where it makes the trailer and then it's never in the movie. That is an infuriating trope to me. Because sometimes the best stuff is in the trailer, and then when it's not in the movie, it pisses me off.
Apparently you can sue over that these days.
Yeah, that's the thing now.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. Maybe we would have been very excited to see Larry Fishburne be a badass.
Well, he is in the movie.
He is in the movie.
The thing we are referring to is that somebody is suing a movie studio or something over an advertisement saying that Ana de Armas is in the movie, and fans of Ana de Armas wanted to go and see this movie, but she ain't in it. But she was advertised as being in it.
Her scene ultimately got cut because they wanted the sanctity of the relationship at the core of the movie to stay intact.
Sure.
So they cut her entirely.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a separate conversation. But from here, this is where we get the first big fight. And I don't remember exactly how he gets in this place. It's after he gets stitched up.
Yeah, he's in Chinatown, I think. And he gets help from this doctor. And the guy says, they're going to know that I helped you.
Right.
So shoot me here and here.
Right.
One bullet's not going to be enough.
Make sure to not nick my... Ow, you shot me. Yeah. He knows what to do.
Yep.
But yeah, he escapes from there. He gets into this weapon shop. It's like a pawn shop of antique weapons.
Something to that effect. Somebody has this massive collection of old knives and old guns.
Yeah.
To an absurd quantity.
Yeah, so we get these scenes of him being chased through whatever. He gets up there. He gets up to this room with all these guns. He selects one, and it's not to his liking. He has to take it apart, just to make sure that he can get the correct hammer and the correct like revolver thing to accept the correct ammo, I think.
Well, he first picked one up and the bullet didn't fit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think what happened here is that he needed to use this kind. He wanted to use this kind of bullet, and that gun, the revolver thing, didn't accept that caliber of bullet.
Yeah.
So he took apart all these other guns to make a new gun that would accept it.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Was that just a bunch of other pieces of guns that
Yes.
he made into one gun?
Yes.
Well, when he fires it too, there's this music cue.
Right.
It's like a fucking cowboy western twangy
Which
sound.
apparently, I read this as well. Apparently, the act of him putting the gun up to his ear and hearing it click is something directly out of like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Which we'll have to eventually watch. I have seen it. I've seen one of those. I watched one of them in a college movie class.
Yeah, so that's apparently an homage to that.
Nice.
But yeah, he gets his gun, but then it just turns into a big knife fight.
They're in a hallway and they're just sort of punching each other, and then they realize they are surrounded by knives.
Right.
And they just keep punching glass and throwing every knife at each other.
The light bulbs finally go off and they decide, oh, these are all knives. I'm going to use all these knives. And they use all the knives.
That was so many fucking knives. I don't think I've ever seen that crazy a knife fight. Because it's not guys stabbing each other. They're just throwing knife after knife after knife. That
guy got stabbed in the shoulder like 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. And it gets really violent to the point where, like I said, he's like shoving a knife into a dude's eyeball in slow motion, and you're like, stop, make it stop. No, it's happening.
Yep, he did that. Yeah, and of course the coda to that is there's a guy who he pulls out the knife from his chest and he's still alive, and from fucking, I don't know, 50 feet,
way in the background,
he throws the axe into his head. And end of scene. And there's a lot of these in the first half of the movie. Right after that, he finds this stable with a bunch of horses that are presumably used to take people out in like Central Park.
That was the only thing I could think of.
I can only think of that, yeah. So, again, people are following him into the stable.
Like a new gang, a different gang.
A different gang, sure. They follow him in there, and he uses the horse to his advantage. Like you said, he like taps the horse on the back to get him to kick.
A couple times.
Yeah, and the horse basically kicks the guy's head off.
Yeah, he done kicked him to death.
And that's a real thing. Don't do that.
Don't stand behind horses.
Do not stand behind horses.
For the love of God.
They will kill you.
That is a thing that they do.
Uh-huh.
Those are massive. You ever heard of horsepower, guys? There's a reason we call it that, because those
fuckers are all muscle.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get that scene. And this is where he gets over to the theater and presents it to Angelica Houston. And they have this meeting basically saying, hey, you owe me this because I'm from your territory.
I'm from your tribe.
You owe me this because I'm giving you this. This is my one ticket out of here.
Yeah,
I
still have this ticket.
Yeah, they keep referring to it as a ticket. And they go back, they have their little meeting. She says, okay, I guess I'll do this because whatever.
Yeah, you show up at my door.
Yep.
I don't know you shit. All you're going to do is bring more problems my way if I do anything, just for you being here and me talking to you.
Sure. But she ultimately decides that she's going to help, and they take his ticket, and by them like ripping the ticket, they have to brand him.
Yeah, they stick it on a poker and they burn him with it. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. John Wick goes through a lot of shit in this movie.
He does. And of course what he says is, you don't have to help me kill anybody. I just want a ticket to Casablanca. I want you to get me passage to Casablanca.
Yeah.
And we don't know exactly why, but we assume it's because someone there can help him.
Sure. So we cut away from there and we go back to the Continental.
In New York.
We have somebody coming out of a car and we don't know who they are. And they identify themselves as the adjudicator, which is to say they are a representative of the high table. And they're there to I don't know, like pass along a message from them and like try to adjudicate the trial.
They're investigating and correcting wrongs and making sure that the people who are in trouble get their comeuppance.
Right. And even though a person like Winston is the head of the Continental, he is still under the jurisdiction of the High Table.
Right. And they basically point out to him, yes, you are in charge. You've been in charge, but you also could have killed him dead on the spot.
Yeah.
It was your decision to let John Wick get a head start.
To give him that hour.
And this is bullshit. And so in 7 days, get your shit together because you're out.
Yeah.
We are taking you out.
We're going to take you away from this place. There's going to be
no longer the head.
There's going to be a replacement installed in this hotel.
They don't explicitly say they're gonna kill him. I think in his case, they are probably just going to let him step down and go away.
Maybe.
If he agrees to it.
Maybe.
But they also go to the Bowery King and they say, well, you helped him and you gave him this gun with 7 bullets. Mm-hmm. So you get 7 cuts. And they fuck him.
Well,
they fuck up Larry Fish.
Yeah, they do that a little bit later. But yeah, they make it seem like he is very dead.
Right. They also go to Angelica Houston and say, hold out your helping hands and take your punishment. And she puts them out and they stab her hands.
Through her hands.
With a sword. It's just like, what the fuck?
We get these fucking like ninja guys.
Yeah.
The only way I know how to describe them is just fucking ninjas.
I'm trying to understand exactly why this group, because there's this dude who runs a sushi stand and he's putting on this really phony Japanese accent, but he's totally an American, and they say, we want to hire you, and he says, we're here, I'm in, let's do this.
Right.
And
they're
they're
basically
the
being
personal
called up.
army.
Yeah, they're basically being called up.
But why this group?
Well, maybe like the adjudicator, like this is
the table.
Maybe this is their like selected group. Maybe John Wick is weak to ninjas. I don't know.
His one weakness, ninjas. No.
And like I'm to the point where, again, I keep bringing this up because anytime I see it, I have to say it. A lot of this is just like him going through video game levels. Like, okay, you're going to do this fight, then you're going to do this fight, then you're going to do that fight, and at the very end, you fight the final boss, and oh no, the final boss is the thing that you're weak against.
This felt very final boss, but we'll get to that part.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he just sort of has all of these things going against him. Meanwhile, he hops a boat to Casablanca or a plane. We don't really know how he gets there. He just shows up in Casablanca.
Well, they even say, get him to the lifeboat. And that could mean anything.
Yeah. It's a metaphorical lifeboat.
Right.
And of course, the person he's going to see is the manager of the Casablanca Continental Hotel.
Yes.
And it's Halle Berry. So like I said, I knew she was in this. She was not in this as much as I thought she would be. Because when you have somebody like Halle Berry, you're of course pimping it out that she's in the movie.
Well, I obviously didn't know about it.
Well, it's been a few years, but she's in like a chunk of the movie.
I think she's in it enough.
She is, but I'm saying, for as much as they advertised it, I thought she would be in it more.
Okay.
But she's kind of like a female John Wick.
She's
movie.
A fucking badass.
She's a total badass, where we find out, again, little bits and pieces of his background. The mark he has, the markers from her.
Yep.
And she had a daughter that he helped get out.
Yeah.
He got her away from this situation and put her somewhere.
Whatever it happened to be, he got her out. He saved her. And he even says, I could just tell you where your daughter is. I could help you out in that way if you do this thing for me.
Yep, but she doesn't want any part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of the thing that he went through where he only got out of that life because somebody helped him and they used a marker to do it.
Right.
He did that for somebody else. He helped her daughter get out of this life. And so he goes to the only person he knows that can help because this marker is a death bond, a blood pact.
Yes. And she has this connection with this other guy who is like her former boss, like whatever you want to call it. That's what he says.
He's the coin maker.
He's the minter.
The minter. Mr. Mint.
Yeah. So they go up to him. Again, he's the guy from Game of Thrones that everybody likes. He's Tyrion's buddy.
Yeah, Mr. What's his from Game of Thrones.
I don't remember his name.
You know, the guy.
That one guy who does the things. I don't know. They go up to him and see him, and she brings her dogs. There's a lot of dogs.
Yeah,
in
this. Listen, this is why I say she's like a female John Wick, because she's very touchy about her dogs.
She's very attached to her dogs.
You're right. There's a lot of dog things in this. There's people who love dogs, and how dare you fuck with the dogs?
Yeah, so they go up to meet him, and he says basically, no, I'm not going to take you.
He's just sort of a pompous ass who says there's rules in this world, and they are meant to be followed, and you broke the rules, and I can't help you.
Yeah.
I can point you in the direction.
John Wick wants to go and see the person above the table. Because apparently there's a guy way at the top.
Yeah, we still haven't met the table, the high table. This guy, I don't exactly understand where he fits. He's just called the Elder.
Yeah.
Where he advises the table, I guess? Or he is the head of the table? They were a little unclear about that.
Like, again, I keep taking it back to video games, but think about Assassin's Creed. Like, the Assassin's Creed games go all the way back to Egyptian times, and they're in Northern Africa here. So maybe this whole thing, the high table and these assassins, have been going back for thousands of years.
Well,
in some capacity.
They have a conversation about, like, the origin of the word.
Yeah. So I assume that this is some kind of historical figure that has been a part, like his line or whatever it is, has been a part of this group for centuries.
The OG assassins.
Yeah. That's kind of how I take this.
I don't know. That's the one thing I was a little unclear about, because they just say, I want to go and see this guy, take me to him. Yeah. And he's told, I can't take you to him. I don't know where he is, but go that way as far as you can and just go into the desert and keep walking.
Well, walk until you're about to die, and then keep on walking, and then you fall dead.
And he'll find you.
And he'll find you. And that's what happens.
So he goes to this place in the middle of the desert. But of course, before that, this guy who gives him the advice shoots Halle Berry's dog, and we have to have another massive action scene. Yeah. And this is very cool, where it's her and the dogs are just fucking everybody up. Like, he is not the focal point of this fight. Did you notice that?
Oh, definitely.
Half the time, you're not even seeing John Wick. It's just Sophia.
It's like 70% Halle Berry and her dogs.
Yeah, kicking ass. And it was cool. And you read something, she broke 3 ribs.
She broke 3 ribs in the filming
of
that.
I get it. This is an intense fight scene. And they've got the dogs. Like, this is all real. Like, these dogs are not fake. We had an argument a few weeks ago about one of the movies where the dogs were completely fake.
This is all real.
These are real trained dogs who are set to jump and leap and bite and thrash. And they literally jump off of her back up the side of a fucking 10-foot wall to get a guy. And it looks incredible the whole time because they're real fighting dogs. Again, the stunt coordinators, this is a niche type of stunt that you've got here with the dogs. And it pays off. It's really cool.
And Halle Berry had to be the one to do all of the training with these dogs.
The commands.
Yeah. She had to do all of that herself, because they're not going to take commands from anybody else off screen.
They will to a point, but not to do
not all that
what
stuff.
They want the way they want.
Yeah.
Because this is a hard scene to do.
But after this big long scene with Halle Berry, she takes him off to the desert. He starts doing his long-ass walk. They recover him and bring him to this tent where he is just literally on his knees begging for another chance to serve the high table.
Well, and they ask him for a reason. Why do you think your life is worth continuing? And the reason he gives is so that he can remember and love his wife.
Right.
Like, her memory has to live on, and I want to be the one to respect that and do that.
Yeah.
And that's good enough for them to hear him out and listen. But he's offered a choice. He has one path and one path only.
Yeah, there is a penance to pay.
There is. He will do a task for them.
Yep.
And if he completes the task, he will spend the rest of his days doing what he does best for the table.
Right.
He will go back to being the world's greatest assassin, but specifically for them.
Right. And think about where we came from in the first movie, where he was retired for 5 years and he was allowed to get away. He had to have this impossible task. He had to employ all these different people and all these different methods and everything
pull
else.
All the stops out.
Yeah. He was able to get out. Now he is required to stay on with these guys until his dying breath.
And he's going to have a lot less freedom of choice working for them than working how he did before.
Because
he was an independent contractor before.
Exactly. They were taking contracts by option. You didn't have to take anything, but at the same time, you were still a part of that. So if you were called upon for service, your services would be required.
Right. They keep using that phrase, what is it? I will serve. Yeah. I will be of service.
Yes. So in this case, he has to, again, prove his fealty to the table. And what do they ask for, Betsy?
Well, first they say, you have to kill Winston.
Right.
And he agrees, but first he has to prove it by chopping off his own finger.
Yep. His ring finger, his wedding ring finger.
Yes. He fucking just goes for it.
Yep.
Like, they give him like a little hammer to kind of like chisel it, but he just grabs it and, with one punch.
Yep, just get it over with.
It's gone.
Yep.
He just, finger,
Bye-bye.
ring. Here we go. And he takes off his ring and he hands it to the guy. And they say, I accept.
Right.
You think he's not coming back for that fucking thing?
I think you got a point. I think in chapter 4, he's going to get that ring back.
I think so, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So he agrees.
Yep.
He's going to go back to kill Winston.
And he gets back to New York City.
And once again, everybody starts trying to fuck with him.
And then we get the bike fight.
A bike fight. First, it starts in Grand Central Station, and there's a lot of hiding behind the crowds.
Activity and And he gets outside of Grand Central. 2 guys on motorcycles accost him.
Try to fuck him up.
He gets on one of the bikes and he goes down this closed bridge, apparently. The sign's up saying bridge is closed, but it's still open.
Well, it's closed for everyone except John Wick.
Well, sure.
We're making an action scene.
Closed for everything but this action scene.
Where he, stabs a guy. We're almost cutting his arm off. And then the arm gets stuck in the wheel.
Yeah.
And blows up the motorcycle.
That doesn't blow up.
Okay, it gets caught up in the gears and goes flying.
I will say,
that was a messed up way to go.
Of all of the things that they depict here, none of it is unrealistic.
No.
Where you expect, through all of the action movies we have seen over the years, and the Jerry Bruckheimerization of movies, you expect something to blow up.
Big explosions
and
chaos.
Nothing happens like that.
There's not even that much blood. It's just
not really.
So violent that I don't think you would get an R rating. It would go too far if everybody was also bleeding.
Betsy, with all of the dead bodies everywhere.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying there's no blood. There is blood, but it's usually pooling and things of that nature. Or you see some of it spray once in a while.
Yeah, it's not arterial spraying everywhere.
No. But there would be a lot more blood than what is depicted in this movie.
You're right.
But he makes it, Trent. He makes it to the Continental. And of course, he touches the step, which is far enough.
He's safe.
Safe! Slides in.
Yeah. So from there, he goes into the hotel to have his little meeting with Winston. But before that, he has to wait in the lobby, let's say. And Ninja Guy comes in and sits right next to him.
He fangirls, Trent. What he does is fangirl. He's like, I'm such a big fan of your work. Mr. Wick, I'm so excited to meet you.
Yes.
We're the same. I've aspired to be you my entire life, kind of a nonsense.
I'm also a minister of death, or whatever the fuck he says.
We're not alike. Oh, that's a dog? You got a dog? You like dogs? I like dogs.
I'm more of a cat person myself. But yeah, he's just like, dude.
He's geeking out.
Dude, you are not on my level here. Yeah, so he gets called up to Winston's weird, I did not expect to see a place like this in this hotel.
Again, we're seeing more of the hotel than we've seen before, because there's this big boiler room in the basement where they have the corpse from the second movie, and big flames in the boiler room. I assume that's the furnace.
Uh-huh.
And then, they have this weird glass room with like crystal skulls and samurai uniforms.
It's a bunch of like old school like samurai stuff.
It's old meets new.
Yeah. And there's these like video screens showing weird videos, and I didn't really understand.
It's kind of a 360. It's a very Japanese style room. Like when you watch movies that take place in places like Tokyo or not even just there, like Hong Kong, not necessarily just Japanese, where it's these really modern cities. There are these big clear rooms where all the neon lights from the city are coming in.
Yes.
But this one, it's also inside the room. So it's a really bizarre, crazy looking room. Mm-hmm. And I love that they put the line in Winston's like, we don't use this room very much, just for special occasions. Like, hello, we've created a line of dialogue to explain away the existence of this room that you've never seen before.
It's like, hey, we're going to have the fight here later. So anyway, but yeah, they have their little confrontation.
They're tete-a-tete.
Yeah, and Winston says, you know what? I'm not going to be stepping down either. I know you're here to kill me. And that's what you were tasked to do in order to get the contract lifted off of you.
Yeah, I'm not going to give up my power.
Yeah.
And if you're going to kill me, I'd rather be killed by a friend. That's fine by me, than my enemy.
But he also says,
you're going to be their bitch.
Yeah, would you rather die? And this is kind of the theme of this movie. Would you rather die as my friend John or die as John Wick, the boogeyman?
Right. Or free. Do you want to be free?
Yeah.
Basically, is the long and short of it.
Sure.
And the two of them decide, no. Just no.
Well, and this is where the adjudicator comes in and says,
what's your choice?
What's your choice? Are you going to step down?
Are you going to kill this guy?
And are you going to kill him for not stepping down?
Yeah. And they just, nope. We're good.
We're buds. This is fine between us.
So the only thing they can do, because we are in the Continental, is they deconsecrate the hotel. Meaning,
this is no longer Holy Land.
Yeah, the one rule, you can't do business here, doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm. And from there, the adjudicator calls in the dogs, essentially.
I love that they bring in busloads. Busloads of assassins.
Yeah. And they have a little bit of time to prepare. So they go down to their little panic room inside of a safe.
But before they do that, John says, well, under the circumstances, am I still off limits? Are you going to help me? And he says, Trent, what do you need? And what did John Wick respond, Trent?
I need guns. Lots of guns.
It is a direct quote from The Matrix.
Yep.
Which I am sure if we had seen this in the theater, people lost their fucking minds.
Oh, people would have fucking cheered. I cheered,
and I'm like years late to this party.
Yeah.
But yeah, he delivers it the same fucking way.
He does.
Guns. Lots of guns.
I mean, if you told me that they took the audio from The Matrix and put it into this movie for just that line, I would have believed you.
Yeah, it's so perfect. And they go down there and he's got this safe room full of guns.
Yeah. But the concierge guy, the Lance Reddick character, says, since you've been kind of out of the business here, let's just say the SWAT team has gotten some upgrades. So you're going to need some better weapons to go against these guys. It's not just your normal fodder and enemies. So you really need to upgrade your ammo from like 45 up to 9mm ammo so that it can actually penetrate their armor.
I love the way he recommends it like one recommends wine. Might I recommend the 9mm?
Right. And of course, as they're walking out, Winston says the line that explains everything. And all this kind of comes together. We mentioned in the intro, why did they call it Parabellum?
Why? It's inconsistent. What's that about?
I don't really know what that means, but it's all kind of coming together now because Winston says in Latin, if you want peace, prepare for war. And the Parabellum line is the prepare for war thing.
Yeah,
that's literally what that means.
I took Latin 20 years ago, and I didn't take enough of it, it would seem, because
No.
I would be willing to bet if I had, I would have seen Parabellum years ago and gone, prepare for war. Okay,
Right.
that makes sense.
And in other parlance, the shape of a 9mm round is called a parabellum.
I did not know that until you were telling me fun facts about this movie.
Indeed. So that's where that comes from. And I like it. The whole prepare for war thing, that's really what this is about.
The fact that it has a double meaning and they both
Yeah.
apply here, that's a thought out touch. I like
I feel
that.
like they really needed to throw that in one of these movies, and I think this is the best one.
Well, and it makes sense because he was already on the run and he was going to have to fight everybody.
Yeah.
But as we progress through this movie, we find out there is no good way out of this.
Yeah.
So prepare for war.
And he wants peace.
Yes.
He wants to stop doing this.
Stop dragging me back into this life I don't want to be a part of anymore. I have killed hundreds of people in the last 12 hours. This, in 2 movies, it's been 5 minutes in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. So then, of course, we get the big battle in the lobby of the hotel where all of these guys are very armored and John Wick is having a hard time.
Yeah, we were like, why the fuck does he have to shoot these guys 9 times?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They're reacting because it's real gunfire,
They're
real
not-
bullets.
they're not going
They're not
down.
penetrating their armor. So
No.
he has to get all the way up in there and find the soft pallet.
Yeah. So he's just desperately trying to kill people and failing.
He gets underneath their to their neck, and he gets all the way up to the helmet, and he lifts up the helmet and gets inside there and starts shooting.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort. Him and the concierge and some of the other staff are there, but they're just fodder and they're gone.
They're
in a
just
second.
going down. Yeah.
So they both march back into the safe saying, we need better gunpowder.
Higher grade stuff.
Higher grade stuff.
And yeah, they get some shotguns with armor-piercing 12-gauge slugs.
Yeah, that does it.
Oh my god! Betsy, I think this is where I cringed the most. You were cringing at all the knife scenes and all the crotch shots.
There's a lot of crotch stuff in this.
There's
show.
a lot of dick bites and dick shots
Yep.
and yeah.
punching, dick punch.
But in this, oh my god, these shotgun shots are just, they hurt my soul.
They do what they are advertised, and they penetrate the armor. And then some. There's fragments. There's fragments, and every time the gun went off, it's just this loud bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really intense, but it works.
It's effective.
It's effective until once again the faceless, nameless goons in the armor are all taken out, and the only people left are the bald Japanese guy and his 2 henchmen.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get a fight with the 2 guys, but first they're again, fangirling, "Hi, Mr. Wick. It's gonna be an honor to fight you. This is gonna be fun."
And they don't they have opportunities to kill him.
They hold back.
They hold back.
Well, and also because the bald guy wants him for himself.
Sure.
So they kind of also understand the assignment. They just are supposed to wear him out.
Yeah, they're tenderizing him. And yeah, they get all the way to the end of that fight. And John Wick lets him live.
Where does this fight take place? In the big glass room, which we have talked about many, many times on this podcast.
It's the final boss fight.
If there is a big room made of glass, that glass is gonna get broken.
In a lot of different ways.
They spend so much time grabbing him by the arms and throwing him into that glass and then turn around and then to this glass and over and over again.
Yeah, I love the effect of the swords on the glass because you can see it gouging all the way in there.
Because of course the trick here is there's this sort of optical illusion happening where the glass is so clear that you can't even tell it's there. So they go to stab you, but there's something in between you and the person you're trying to stab.
And hey, remember the last movie with the House of Mirrors thing?
Yep, at the end, the art exhibit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
But more open and less mirrory.
Yeah. And you're right. Every time they would miss him, how the sword would cut and scratch the glass.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I liked that effect.
And how many times did you get to do that? Because they would have to replace the glass every time, because those are real gouges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, some could be enhanced in post, but my guess is it's just real glass having that real effect.
Well, it's whatever that glass is. I don't know exactly what the stuff is made of, but probably some kind of acrylic.
Breakable glass.
Yeah. Anyway, so they finally get the end here. We get to the final boss fight with the bald guy, and both of these fights, especially the last one with the two guys, that fight went on for a long, long time.
I'm glad you also think that, because this was the one thing I would have tightened in this movie is it just felt like those last two fights went on forever.
Yeah. With no real result at the end.
No, like it was funny. So he of course wins. We know he's going to win. And he stabs the bald guy and he's laying on the ground and he kind of sits himself up and he's like, "Hey, John, that was a great fight, right?
It was a pretty good fight,
That was a pretty good fight. Like, hey, how'd I do?"
Right.
Meanwhile, he's got a sword sticking out his belly.
I'll see you next. They're trying to have the cool guy line.
I'm just gonna catch my breath.
I'll catch you next time. And he's like, "No, you won't."
But when he says that was a pretty good fight, he's like, "Yeah, man, that was a pretty good fight."
It was.
So it's just this weird moment of humor in this otherwise mostly humorless movie. It's just fight. The only really funny lines come from Larry Fishburne. Where his punishment is you're gonna get cut 7 times. He's like, "Well, sometimes you gotta cut a motherfucker."
And of course, during all of these fight scenes, the adjudicator is up in their room, just kind of hearing what's happening in the background, all the bangs,
downstairs.
all the chaos, and they call Winston like halfway through. And they say, "Oh, you couldn't possibly just keep up on this. We're going to get you. We're going to eventually get you."
Now?
And he hangs up mid-sentence. And then at the end, after Bald Dude dies,
everyone is dead.
Another call is made, and they're like, "Okay, how about a parlay? Let's just
talk now.
Let's just go have a meeting. Let's get a drink and get out onto the terrace and have a little tete-a-tete."
And that's what they do. And Winston basically says, "I get to stay the manager of the hotel. I've earned it."
I fully admit that what I did was against the rules. It was wrong for me to give him the hour. We're friends. I get that.
I affirm my fealty to
the
table.
I reaffirm everything to the table. And the adjudicator basically says, "Oh, so you were doing all this stuff just to prove how tough you are as a hotel? Bravo, man."
Yep, we accept.
We accept your terms. But then they turn to John Wick and ask the question, what are we going to do with him?
What do we do? Well, he has to die.
And Winston takes out the gun that he had from before that wasn't upgraded with all the extra bullets. It just kind of bounces off his suit.
Which you can't really tell that. We assume this because he goes ping, 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 and falls off a building.
Well, sure, but they do bring out that same gun. He presents that gun to him in the big glass room to say, "Hey, you want to kill me?"
Oh, I didn't notice it was the same gun.
This was the same gun that he used to kill the other guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that. All I know is he shot him, and I'm kind of assuming he shot him in such a way so as not to kill him.
Well, he also knew that there was going to be like a ramp down there he can kind of slide off of, and if he's going to survive anything...
Listen, I don't think he was fully expecting to get thrown off of a building because he goes ping-ponging down.
It does. But again, that suit probably protects him in a lot of other ways, other than just getting shot.
Fair enough. But right before the adjudicator leaves, they think, I better just go check overtime. And of course, his body is missing.
Yeah, and they say John is gone. Says something to that effect.
He's departed. Yes, it's very sad. He's dead.
Winston says, "Oh, yes, it's just, it's quite a shame."
No, his body is missing, which means he's not dead.
Well, how far could he possibly get?
But the big reveal, of course, is the underworld
has recovered him.
Of hobos from the Bowery.
Right.
They picked him up and brought, and of course, we haven't mentioned this yet,
yes.
but the one who picks him up is Jason Mantzoukas, who we both know as Rafi from the TV show The League, and he is a really, really funny guy, and he shows up in this and is just this dirty hobo.
Yes.
But he takes him to... What? The Bowery King? He's still alive!
And cut the fuck up.
A little bit.
Yeah.
He took it. He took his beating, but now he's pissed off.
Yeah, and he asks the question of John Wick, I'm pissed off, aren't you?
Well, first he asks him, if you can hear me, raise your hand. Right. And he holds up his hand, missing a finger. He's like, they took a finger.
Right. I can't remember what he says, but it's funny. Oh no, he says, ain't that a bitch? And then he puts up his hand again and gives him the other finger.
He gives him the finger.
Yeah, and it's a good end.
Yeah, so we prove he's alive, John Wick is alive.
Yeah.
And they're both really pissed off.
Yeah.
And he picks himself up and he's bloody and his eyes all red. And he's just like, yeah, I'm mad.
Yeah.
So it's just, again, a continuation where we're just going domino to domino to domino with these movies, and we're just upping the ante every single time. Where, like I said at the beginning of this, it's just non-stop action, and you don't need a lot of plot, but it looks cool. The action sequences are really cool. The way the overall movie looks is cool.
Yeah.
Like the rain and the neon and the darkness.
The desert.
Yeah. There's a lot of pops of color and just, yeah, everything is so thought out. And I love that they're really exploring this world and just giving me a little bit more and a little bit more. And it's making me hungry for more.
Yeah, Betsy, we're going to see the fourth one. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's kind of the reason we picked this one. Let's be real. We did a series just as an excuse to watch this movie now.
I just didn't know where else to put it.
No, it was either just watch it by itself or pair it up with some other things.
Sure.
And we know that fourth one is coming out in 2 months or something?
I think it comes out in March, yeah.
March or April.
So I think maybe after Oscar season, we're going to go to the theater.
Because we missed the first three. We just missed the boat on this trilogy.
Yeah.
And I'm so mad at us because now I have watched all three and every one is great.
It's like, honestly, I think they're getting better. I think this might be my favorite one.
It's because they're cutting out the bullshit. They're just here for the thing they know you want. Like I said, there's a little bit of a plot in the first one. There's more plot in the second. There's a lot of slow down and have dialogue in the second one, which is fine. It's not a bad movie. It's really good. But this one is just carnage and chaos and action and go, 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 go.
The term action-packed gets overused, but it is a fitting descriptor to this movie.
This is a carnage buffet.
It's anything you could ever want. It's here.
And then some.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of this one, Betsy. Did you have any other thoughts before we get out of here? I have one thing.
No, I think I've kind of said what I really needed to say, and it's so good. This is, for a third movie, let's just say it. Most movies that have this many entries are not good, or they subscribe to the every other one rule where it's this one's great, that one's not so good, this one's really great.
But they just peter out or they go somewhere else completely different than the first couple of movies. And
Fast and Furious. What?
Well, that's a different story. But yeah, for this one, it is more, let's just continue this entire timeline. I know there's been, 8 years since the first one or something. This is within the course of a couple weeks, max.
Yeah, they literally in this movie say last week what he was getting up to, and they're referring to events from the first movie.
Right. That is insane. I've never heard of a movie series that has done something like this.
And you are very lucky that Keanu Reeves has made a deal with Satan or something because he looks exactly the same.
He really does. He does not age at all. And he's
but
not
much slower than normal.
He's not pulling back either.
No, he is fully invested in the physicality of this role.
Yeah. But no, the one thing I wanted to say before we get to an email, I love the shots of the switchboard room where they have
ladies, yeah.
the fucking ticker tapes coming in and the old ass computers and the chalkboards, and it's like it fell out of 1982.
It's this great old meets new thing where their uniforms are very like 1960s. The technology is very 1980s, but then they're all tatted up, every single one of them.
Tattoos and piercings and old telephones and
But they have like the old-timey headsets of like operators from the 1960s with a big switchboard and
That's why I call it a switchboard room. Yeah. That's what it is.
It's just again really thinking about this world, and everybody has a specific design. Like the guys who make the coins, they look like this. And the people who run the contracts, they have these binders and stamps, and they have old funky keyboards.
It's all old school, and I love that.
And the hotel has these rules, and the people who provide the weapons have these kinds of styles. And it's just... everybody has definition in their own little way, and it makes this so interesting, and I'm glad they're doing spin-offs. I'll be interested to see where those go, especially if we're talking prequels, because you can have so much fun with that.
Maybe. I'm less enthused about any kind of spin-off stuff. I'm very interested in John Wick 4, obviously, but I don't know. I've seen other media have spin-offs, and it's never the same.
Fair enough.
It's never the same. And I get that. I will give a chance to whatever they're going to throw at me if it's good. Anyway. All right, Betsy. This has been going on for long enough. Let's read an email here from Stephanie about our last movie we covered, Ted 2. She says, "This was a largely forgettable movie. There are some funny scenes, and the cameos work for the most part, but overall, Ted did not need to have a sequel."
It really didn't. Like, the concept is sound, and the first movie really works, because it's just, let's take a bear and let him say fuck a lot.
Yeah, and that's a good enough concept in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's just married to the Seth MacFarlane comedy, and you can't separate those two.
And everybody is absolutely committed to this concept and just believing that there's a talking bear with them.
Right. And if it was any other writer or director, it might have had more legs. But in this case, it just felt old by the end.
Yeah.
It got old.
It's like, we did this once before. You've run the gambit of stupid jokes.
Yeah. The novelty is no longer there. Back to the email. Amanda Seyfried is a pretty good match for him, though the age difference weirds me out. I have a couple of uncles that married women much younger than them. One bothers me because they got married when she was a teenager. Yikes.
Yee.
The other does not bother me because she is his third wife and she was in her 30s when they got married. I think that if Amanda Seyfried's character is a lawyer, she probably is fully aware of what she is getting into and capable of making the choice to be with a man baby. And that's okay. I get that.
Yeah, we're not poo-pooing it altogether.
Yeah, not because of the age thing, but I think she is of the same kind of maturity level as he is, and he's never going to improve on that.
Right.
So if anything, they're going to have this fling for a while. She's going to grow up and maybe mature a little bit more and then kick his ass to the curb again.
Or they're perfect for each other. Who the hell knows?
Who the hell knows?
We're not getting a Ted 3. We don't need it.
Maybe neither of them are going to improve in their life. Anyway, so she ends. Not a lot to say about this one. The other day, we watched The Menu on HBO Max. It was funny and weird, and we really liked it. Love you guys, from superfan Stephanie.
I've heard a lot of people who have been watching that on HBO.
Uh-huh.
Somebody at work today, I heard somebody say, did you watch The Menu? And I had to plug my ears. It's like, I don't know you guys well enough. You might be those people that will spoil this for me.
Yeah, I have worked in an office like that where they had just watched, I think it was one of the new Star Wars movies. And it's like, no, you need to stop.
Yeah,
stop.
If you're going to talk about this, leave the space.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. Talk about it at lunch. I don't give a shit. But have some self-respect. Have some decency for the people around you.
Yeah.
Like, don't spoil movies. It's just bullshit. Don't do that.
And some movies cannot be spoiled. I will give you that.
It's really hard to do. Like, one of my favorite things on Twitter is out of context spoilers, where if you haven't watched it, it's just 4 frames of nonsense. Yeah. But once you've seen it, you're like, that's funny.
It's from that scene.
It's from that movie.
Yeah. But yeah, as we said, we're taking a break from watching anything that might be nominated for an Oscar because we want to kind of save those for after the nominations are out.
And I don't know if the menu will qualify,
Who
but
knows?
A lot of people really like it, so who the hell knows?
And I wanted to mention and follow up on something that you said earlier in the email. She says, but overall, Ted did not need a sequel. So we decided to do this series of rated R sequels, not only just to clear some stuff off our list, but also just kind of talk about the concept of sequels and whether or not any movie really needs them.
Right, and we ended up with 3 what we would basically call comedies. Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
it's an action comedy.
It's a Marvel thing, comic book.
It checks a lot of boxes,
yes.
But overall, it's a comedy. Most movies that are sequels that are R-rated are comedies. Have you noticed this? It's either comedies or action movies. Yeah. And both of those, it is just a mixed bag. And I get that movies being successful, you want to make more money. But look at something like The Hangover. We could have done The Hangover. We could do the whole trilogy. It's basically the same premise 3 times.
Yeah, Super Troopers 2, which we also did, is the same movie, but in just different contexts. Ted 2 is, the same kind of premise where you have the talking bear who swears, but at least they tackle other issues in both movies.
Yep, and then sometimes you get these movies that launch into full series, like Fast and the Furious and Die Hard, where it starts as one thing and just goes so different from where it began that it's like unrecognizable as the same series.
Right, and I haven't seen any of the Expendable movies, but I imagine they're all kind of the same kind of thing too.
But here's the thing. I think the reason something like the Expendables probably works is they're taking more the John Wick route, where it's like, we know why you're here.
Yes.
We understand what you, the viewer, wants to get out of this, and we are prepared to offer it to you.
Yeah.
They're probably, objectively terrible movies, but because it's just every single action star they could get to say yes, doing a cheesy action movie, you're probably gonna have a good time. So I think it really...
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything bad about those movies.
No.
I haven't seen them, but eventually we will see it.
But I think it really, really depends on the sequel. We just recently watched the second Knives Out movie. You have to understand the assignment, and you cannot just be making the sequel for the cash grab. And a lot of times it doesn't work because that's all it is. Ted 2... feels like a cash grab.
Yeah, because the first movie was wildly successful. It made $500 million, and of course you're going to greenlight a sequel as long as the director, the creators, and the writers come together and they're going to make a new one.
Yeah, and like with John Wick, they just keep simplifying it. We're not going to overcomplicate this. We know why you're here. We understand the assignment.
Right.
So when we get to the 4th one, which we are definitely getting to the 4th one, I expect just carnage. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And for what little plot there is in this movie, the overall thing is very interesting to me. I want to know who's at the high table. I want to know what they're all about. And how do we take them down?
Yeah, not every project has enough legs to stand on that you can take a sequel and make it successful.
Yeah.
This is one where it works.
It just works. And despite the small plot and premise, it works so well because the characters are so well defined.
Yep. And compelling and interesting, and I want
to see more. It's just so fucking fun. All right. This episode has gone on way too long, but I don't care. When we both love movies, we need to talk about them, we need to dissect them, and we need to get it all out. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to go to sleep.
Right, because we'll just do this after we stop recording.
Exactly. So, oh shit, we forgot about that part. No, we have to cover everything. Remember when we watched
that movie and there was that thing that happened? Let's talk about it some more.
Remember when that guy got stabbed in the eye? Anyway, so if you would like to be like Stephanie and like all of our other emailers, there are other emailers, I promise you. You can be one of them. Email us neverseenitpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We post every single day. Never Seen It Pod 1 is the name over there. Twitter is still neverseenit_pod. If you would like to support this show and our shenanigans and support us going to the theater, we're going to be going again very soon.
To see John Wick 4.
To see John Wick 4 and whatever the fuck else. If you would like to
sponsor our trip to the theater for that.
Right. Click the link in the podcast description to go to Anchor. It'll take you to a page where you can put in your credit card and throw us $1 on there. But that is the end of this here 4-episode series of sequels, of Rated R sequels, I should say. We will be back with another episode very soon. I don't even remember what the hell day this is coming out. I have no idea. This has been a roller coaster ride. Betsy, I want to thank you for being my co-host, as always.
Oh, thank you, Trent.
This has been another episode of Never Seen It. My name is Trent.
My name is always Betsy.
And we'll catch you later.
Bye!